What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the greatest afternoon show in the world. That is AC Reviews the World, and I am your host, AC the Engineer. And we are at episode 194. Let's get it on this live. Hopefully, everybody had a good weekend. It is Memorial Day, Monday, May 25th, 2026, year of our Lord. But you know, we cannot miss. We meet every day, Monday through Friday, starting at 6 o'clock, where we go over 4 or 5 topics of just things that I found that we need to review together, y'all. Now, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos now. But you know, today is not like any. Today is just like any other day where we go over 4 topics, or 5 technically, depending on the time. So you know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. The first topic we got to discuss today is we got to go over to California, where we ended up almost having a chemical tank explosion, but luckily that was avoided. But they say the crisis is not over. Now let's get over into a few videos about this, and then of course we'll go over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information, y'all. Let's jump into it.
In California, 50,000 people are under evacuation orders after concerns that a huge tank filled with toxic chemicals at an aerospace facility could explode. Now officials say the biggest threat has been eliminated, but the crisis isn't over. ABC's Alex Stone joins me now from Cypress, California. Alex, great to see you. It appears there is some good news as crews continue to work at that site. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Stephanie, some very good news. They finally got firefighters up to the tank overnight in what they described as being a very high-risk operation, getting firefighters in there. They got up on the tank and they confirmed that a crack on the top of it, that it had allowed the pressure inside the tank to vent out the top of it, bringing down the threat of a catastrophic explosion. Now, doesn't mean that there are no threats around any longer of vapor or of leak or a much smaller explosion, but things are looking a whole lot better here right now. They hope to get the evacuation perimeter down a bit in the next couple of hours. It remains in place right now.
That is.
Now, I do want, what was the problem in the first place? That's my first question. What exactly caused the pressure to build up? And what kind of safety measures failed to where it started to build up in the first place? Because that's the main issue here, is that the pressure started to build up. If the crack didn't happen, then we could have had a big chemical explosion and people could have been hurt. And I don't know what exact chemical is in it, but if they had to do all that evacuations, it's not something pretty. But let's keep going into this.
Certainly some good news. And Alex, what are you hearing from residents who did evacuate the area already?
Well, they badly want to get back in. They are waiting for some even better news that the evacuation perimeter goes away, but they are not there yet. Hopefully later on today that firefighters will be able to get to that point. Remember that as all of this was going on, the reaction of this chemical, MMA, acrylic used in plastics, in this case, think of the canopy of a fighter jet, that's the type of acrylic that it was being used for, and that as the chemical reaction was going on, the pressure was building up inside that tank. But it has now relieved all of that, and that should help out quite a bit.
Hopefully it does. All right, Alex, thank you so much.
A potential hazmat situation in California.
Yeah, let's keep going into this and see what else we can find out.
Fire officials just announced that emergency crews have successfully reduced the threat of an explosion from a compromised chemical tank. This all started Thursday at a manufacturing plant in Garden Grove. It's about an hour south of LA near Disneyland. That's when firefighters responded to reports of overheating in the tank, raising serious concerns about a blast and possible leak of toxic chemicals. Authorities issued widespread evacuation orders for nearly 50,000 people in the surrounding area. NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson joins us now from nearby Stanton. Steve, good morning. So officials just gave an update. They mentioned that crews can now get a read on the tank's internal temperature. How's that helping the situation?
Now, it is wild that this all took place on Thursday. Now, I think all these videos that we're looking at now came out today. So it took that long for them to finally understand and just get the pressure relieved. But let's keep going.
Yeah, Savannah, a lot here, massive news on the ground. If it gets a little nerdy and wordy, stop me, but it's important to know, starting with the fact that the risk to the public still exists, right? The explosion is still possible, still 50,000 people or so evacuated from their homes. What they have done, per a late night operation, they've gone in there to identify a crack. They've known that the crack was releasing pressure. They have now confirmed that all the pressure is out of that tank. What that does is eliminate what's called a BLEVE, a boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion. It is essentially the worst case scenario. It's essentially a sort of a chemical explosion. It's the reason why the radius is so big. It's the reason why we've had all of these evacuations. What it means is that they may be able to get in there to reduce some of those evacuations, but no word yet. I want you to hear from the chief on the substantial threat, again, that still exists to this day. Listen to this.
There's still a threat out there, and we need the public to keep to those evacuation zones until we deem it safe for them to come back.
So again, the elimination of the BLEVE means there is not that worst case scenario, this massive explosion that would trigger this huge environmental disaster. That has essentially been eliminated. But again, they're keeping those evacuations in place. They say we should learn a little bit more about a timeline for maybe when people on some of the edges of that evacuation area might know a little bit more about when they can come back to their homes. But we just don't know yet because, again, the threat exists and it could still leak and fail. That is important to know as well. Hopefully they've built some systems in there to eliminate when that flow happens, if it does. Otherwise, though, this is really, really positive news in the right direction to hopefully mitigating this entire situation.
Oh,
Savannah.
yes, great news.
Wow. Well, it sounds like the biggest problem has been alleviated, but they're still concerned for a lot of reasons. But let's go over into one more video and just see what else we can learn.
Yeah, hi there. Yeah, that's news that came out this morning. Very good news. In fact, right now we're told that some of the folks here at the command post are talking about reevaluating the evacuation zone. Sarah Welch will have more on that in a moment, but that just tells you how good this news was this morning, that they believe this risk of this catastrophic explosion is no more. Let's show you some video from Sky 5 HD at that chemical tank in Garden Grove near Western and Chapman at GKN Aerospace. This has been going on since last week. That tank started overheating with a very dangerous chemical used to make plastics inside. The problems kept building and building. What they feared was the heat, it kept heating up. They couldn't do anything, or they weren't doing enough, or couldn't do enough to cool it down, that it would basically put so much pressure inside of there that would explode and cause this huge explosion. Well, what they've learned is 2 nights ago, it started really 2 nights ago, they went onto the site, kind of in a daring mission. Some of the firefighters went over there to check on the tank to try to see things they couldn't see from drones. They saw what looked like a crack in the tank. They also looked at the gauge, the temperature gauge. There's a temperature gauge on that tank, but it only goes up to 100 degrees, and it was pinned at 100 degrees. So they knew it was still hot inside, at least 100 degrees, but they saw a crack in there. And why was that crack important? Well, they thought the crack might be deep enough that it was releasing some of the pressure in the tank and therefore mitigating that risk of this serious explosion. So last night, they went back in again to try to get another look and get some more information. They confirmed their theory. They say that crack was releasing pressure from the tank, so much so that they no longer believe this catastrophic, this huge explosion that caused such a wide evacuation area. They don't believe that's a risk anymore. It doesn't mean we're out of the woods. They say there's still a risk of an explosion, just a smaller one, and that's if the chemical in there continues to heat up. Some good news on that front, though. When they were in there 2 nights ago, I told you the gauge that only goes up to 100 degrees was pinned at 100. Well, when they went in there last night, the temperature was down to 93, and they continue to take efforts to try to cool down the chemicals inside, not just putting water on it, but they're also stripping some of the outside of the tank away, some of the insulation and some of the stuff on the outside, to try to make that water have a better effect as they cool it down. So there's still a risk of an explosion, just not as big a one. There's still a risk also that it could crack further and some of those chemicals could leak out onto the ground. They have a mitigation plan in place for that. One other piece of good news, though, is since the beginning, they have been kind of monitoring the air to see if any of those dangerous chemicals are in the air, and they say so far air tests are normal. Here's more from the OCFA fire chief.
So early on, immediately, we were doing air quality monitoring, immediately. And it's constant. We're doing it all the time. We do not have an active leak. The air quality limits are within normal limits. There is no danger right now. And like I said, we are actively monitoring the air quality.
Okay, that's good. We got the gist of what's everything's happening right now. Let's get over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information on this whole situation. But I will have to say the first thing is that I have to give it props to the people who are firefighters, because they are right in there jumping in, getting so close to something that could possibly explode, where they had to evacuate 50,000 people. You have to be a hero. You have to be able to do that. But let's get over into this and just see if we can find out any more information. So as we know, the threat to the catastrophic explosion has been eliminated at the GKN Aerospace Manufacturing Facility in California. Following an intense overnight operation, emergency crews confirmed a crack formed in the overheating tank, which safely released the internal pressure. However, firefighters officials warned that the evacuation orders remain in place for roughly 50,000 people. So fire officials confirmed that the threat of the boiling liquid is now entirely off the table. Internal tank temperature has dropped from 100 to 93 degrees. While there is currently no active chemical leak, crews are closely monitoring the tank as additional cracks could still form under the remaining liquid's weight. So the mandatory evacuation order remains active for parts of Garden Grove, Athene, I'm saying those names wrong, Cypress, Stanson, Westmire, and Brunner Park. Authorities are reevaluating these zones to determine when the residents can return home. Now, of course, people are going to be upset about this, but we want to listen to officials because you never know what can change and what can go wrong. So you don't want to risk your life trying to go back home when they told you it's not safe. Until you get the official word, it's never good just to go about your own way. So about the chemical, so the compromised tank holds roughly 7,000 gallons of MMA, a highly volatile and flammable liquid used for making resins and acrylic plastics. MMA acts as a severe respiratory irritant. Short-term inhalation causes skin, eye, lung irritation along with dizziness and nausea. They said that they are monitoring the air quality, and they're saying that it's in normal parameters. So Governor Newsom declared a state of emergency for Orange County, unlocking state funds assistance, which has been seen to bolster by federal emergency declaration. The Orange County District Attorney has formally opened a criminal investigation into GKN's aerospace to determine the structural and operational causes of the tank failure. That is the biggest thing that we need to understand. If the tank normally stores this type of liquid, how did the chemical reaction occur in the first place? What procedure went wrong to where it was able to heat up this much? There's something wrong. This shouldn't be happening. So they're going to have to go through, and somebody might get fired and sued. So displaced local residents have filed a proposed class action lawsuit against GKN Aerospace alleging negligence in the storage and handling of volatile hazardous material. Residents are seeking information. If residents are, there's just information about the evacuation centers. But they have to find out what exactly is going on in this whole situation. But luckily, the biggest threat has been alleviated, but we still have to keep watching, hopefully find out more information about this. And then we have to keep up with if someone's going to get sued and how much they're going to have to pay out. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a volatile situation. We're going to pivot now into our next topic we're going to be discussing today. And we have to go over to Chicago, where this Memorial Day weekend we had a massive teen takeover that ended up turning violent, leaving 5 police officers injured after an 18-year-old plowed into a crowd. But let's get over into this whole situation, exactly what's happening. I've talked about this several times before. Do you think the parents need to start being held accountable for this stuff? But let's get over into it and see what we can find out.
Not only did multiple teenagers end up in the hospital as a result of a large gathering, we know there were many on different parts of the west side overnight. 5 Chicago police officers were also sent to the hospital after a car drove through one of those crowds.
There's a large teen gathering.
Calls we heard over police scanner radio giving a look into what Chicago police were up against in the middle of the night near Loomis and Roosevelt.
We've got about 100 teens dispersing south of Roosevelt and Loomis.
Large groups of teenagers in the street, this time on the west side.
This car just ran through a whole crowd of Chicago police officers.
This video posted to social media shows the moments after a driver went through a crowd of people, including police officers.
They get 3 ambulances over there, officer was struck.
Police say 5 officers were taken to the hospital. An 18-year-old man arrested after driving a blue sedan in the wrong direction, eventually crashing into a pole and then a fence.
The accountability mechanism.
Today, Mayor Brandon Johnson reacting to a violent weekend so far.
These unauthorized gatherings, as we have indicated multiple times, that they can be dangerous. And in this case, we saw the manifestation of that danger.
Within the same hour, those officers were injured, gunshots rang out, while other Chicago police officers were near Washtenaw Park. Police say they found 4 gunshot victims there, 3 girls, 1 18-year-old, 2 16-year-olds. The 4th victim, a boy who is just 14 years old. Police say a male suspect ran off on foot before officers arrived. We captured police on scene walking out with 2 people in handcuffs. Mayor Brandon Johnson saying the accountability cannot just lie with the teenagers in this case.
We need our parents to know where their children are.
We gotta be a little bit more strict at this point. The parents need to understand that they are going to get charged. Something needs to be done because this is out of control. Out of control. How does 100 teens late at night end up just being out and about? Parents don't care where they are, or maybe they told them they was going out and they just didn't care. But something needs to be done if they're going to cause violence like this. Now, of course, it's not all the teens. We can't just say it's all the teens, but we have to be aware that every time that something like this is taking place, something has gone wrong. Somebody has ended up getting shot. A fight has broken out. So I hate to say it, but the few are gonna mess it up for everybody. So we gotta do something. Let's keep going into this.
I know where my son was at 3 o'clock in the morning. After he went to prom, he came home, and we need parents to ensure that their children are coming home.
In connection to the mass shooting that left the 4 teens in the hospital, Chicago police say so far they've made no arrests. Reporting from Chicago Police Headquarters, MS Al-Razai, CBS News Chicago.
No, I'm assuming the 18-year-old arrest. That's something. Let's keep going into this.
Hey there, ladies. Yes, that's exactly right. There have been at least more than a dozen shootings and other violent incidents across the city since Friday night, leaving more than 20 people shot and injured. Now, this all stemmed from either large gatherings, mass shootings involving teenagers, and right now investigators are still trying to find some of the people who are responsible for all of this violence throughout the weekend. Let's take you back to yesterday morning. Sunday morning, it was just after 3 a.m. when Chicago police were called to a large gathering near Roosevelt and Loomis near UIC on the near west side. Calls over police scanner radio captured the chaos as officers worked to break up crowds of teens who were gathered in the street. Chicago police say an 18-year-old driver plowed through a crowd in a blue sedan, injuring 5 Chicago police officers before crashing into a pole and a fence. Within the same hour, gunfire erupted in Washtenaw Park in Little Village. Chicago police say 4 teenagers were shot. That includes a 14-year-old boy, 2 16-year-old girls, and an 18-year-old woman. Investigators say the shooter ran off before officers arrived at that scene. Mayor Brandon Johnson says these large unauthorized gatherings can quickly become dangerous.
We need our parents to know where their children are. I know where my son was at 3 o'clock in the morning. After he went to prom, he came home, and we need parents to ensure that their children are coming home.
What in the world is a 14-year-old doing outside at 3 o'clock in the morning? Come on now. We have to be smarter than this. We have to do better than this. Let's keep going.
And this morning, Chicago police have not announced any arrests in at least several of those shootings as investigators continue to work to find the people responsible.
It's always something. But let's get over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information about this whole situation. So as we know, a massive teen takeover happened early Sunday morning on May 24th, and it turned violent in Chicago near the West Side, leaving 5 officers injured after an 18-year-old plowed into a crowd. The incident unfolded around 3:20 a.m. in the 1200 block of South Loomis Street. Hundreds of teenagers had blocked traffic for an unpermitted social media-fueled gathering, which local officials described as an after-prom party that quickly spiraled out of control. As Chicago Police Department officers moved in to disperse the crowd, an 18-year-old driving a blue sedan drove the wrong way down Roosevelt, striking 5 foot patrol officers before crashing into a squad car and light pole and a fence. Now, I'm assuming he was drunk because crazy. So 5 CPD officers were hospitalized and are in fair condition with non-life-threatening injuries. Police arrested 13 individuals at Loomis Street scenes, including the 18-year-old driver. Officers also recovered a firearm from the suspect's vehicle. The gathering occurred during a broader surge of holiday weekend violence near Little River, and a mass shooting at 3 a.m., wounding 4 teenagers ranging from 14 to 18 years old. Another shooting in Austin left 1 dead and 5 others injured at a separate social media prompted party. So, as we know, Mayor Johnson issued a public statement reminding the community members that unauthorized large gatherings are inherently dangerous. He emphasized that the city must keep creating youth opportunities, but notice that the parental accountability is crucial when kids are out past 2 and 3 a.m. I don't know, man. Should there be things that available for the children to do? Yes, but I thought that there was already stuff available for them to do. There's places for them to go, at least hang out civilizedly. At least we didn't need, back in the day, we didn't need things like that. We could just hang out. We'd be shooting some basketball, throwing the football around. That would be our day. But I guess kids now needing more city-run programs to help them just, I guess, work off some of that energy, if it's a better way to say it. But we gotta call a spade a spade. We gotta at some point we gotta have some charges coming. We gotta have something happening if the parents are going to keep them out of control, because the city can only do so much. These late at nights, that's 100% up to the parents to let them out and do what they want to do. And if the parents can't control them, someone has to step in and do it, especially if they're going to keep out calls and violence. But let's keep going into this. So, Chicago Fraternity Order of Police President John Cartinez openly criticized city leadership, stating that the officers were lucky to be alive and that the vehicle was used as a deadly weapon. Now, the question is, did he intend to go in there and strike the officers with the car? Or was this a drunk? He driving the wrong way. He's super intoxicated. Because those are 2 big details that need to be worked out. And that will tell you what kind of charges the kid needs to get. Or the 18-year-old. He's not a kid no more. 18-year-old. Prior to the holiday, CPD superintendent had canceled Officers' Day off and increased neighborhood patrols. Local officials are strictly enforcing the city's curfew at 10 p.m. for minors and 12 p.m. at 12 and older on the weeknights. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on this situation, y'all. Let me know how you feel about it. Do you think that the parents need to be charged and stuff like this? Or do you think that it's The city needs to do more. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? We're going to pivot now into this next topic, which is a sickening one that I wasn't expecting to see. We got to go over to Fredericksburg, Virginia, where we got a bizarre man who was seen dressed in a Pink Panther's costume, where he was stalking and chasing and nearly grabbing children off the bus stop. And they are currently looking for this man. But let's get over into these videos, and then of course we'll go over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information about this case. But let's jump into it. Remember, y'all, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Let's get into it.
Well, the search continues for a strange character that has been seen dressed up in a furry pink costume and reportedly following around children. Today, police in Fredericksburg hung up flyers asking for information to help them find that person. The unusual nature of the case is drawing national attention, and parents say they're worried. Tom Rousey tells us more.
Here in Fredericksburg's Old Greenwich neighborhood, police have hung up flyers looking for this person who has a lot of people around here on edge.
Seen a person in a Pink Panther looking costume.
Russ Ray says he saw this person walking on Lafayette Boulevard in Fredericksburg last Thursday.
I thought that was a little bizarre, so I shot a quick video, put it on TikTok saying, what's going on in Fredericksburg?
That video has now been viewed 1.5 million times. It was only later, though, that Russ learned police were looking for the person after reports that he was following children near their bus stop.
If this video can aid in any way to identify this person or, find out who it is, that would be great.
Local businesses tell me on Wednesday, police asked to hang up these flyers. The store manager of this convenience store says the person, who she could tell was a man due to a tear in the mask, came inside and went to the wine section. When she and customers told him he had to take the mask off, he didn't respond at all, but eventually did leave. Others saw him too.
He had a bag on. He was just swinging it and just walking down the road, side of the road. It's just weird that someone is just, doing this, and it's just very scary, especially.
He needs to be in jail. Come on now. Where are there's? You mean the police ain't find him yet? This is crazy. As soon as I found out he's chasing kids around, yeah, he's a pedophile. I don't know what. There's nowhere else to put it. He needs to be locked up. Let's keep going.
For kids,
it could be anybody.
Parents tell me they are very concerned.
Like, I seen something on Instagram where people was making a joke of it, and that's not a joke. Because what if a kid comes up missing? My son's bus stop is literally right across the street.
If you know anything that could help police find this person, you're asked to give Fredericksburg police a call. Reporting in.
He said his son's bus stop is right across the street. There is no way. As soon as I would have seen this video and known that it's nearby, there is no way. Either I'm taking him to school or I'm out. I'm gonna have to tell my boss, I gotta sit with my son while he gets on the bus. It's as simple as that. There is no way, or at least something. I don't know. Is this too small of a town to have some officers posted out? Because this is crazy. Let's get over into this next video and see what else it tells us.
Now, police in Fredericksburg are on the hunt for a man dressed in a Pink Panther costume. You see him there on your screen. Really unsettling there. This person in this costume reportedly followed children near their bus stop. Tom Rousey talked to a witness.
Seen a person in a Pink Panther looking costume.
Russ Ray says he saw this person walking on Lafayette Boulevard in Fredericksburg last Thursday.
I thought that was a little bizarre, so I shot a quick video, put it on TikTok saying, what's going on in Fredericksburg?
That video has now been viewed 1.5 million times.
I just thought about this. It's basically summertime. It's hot out, humid out. This is in Virginia. It's hot. This man is in a full costume. You know he's stank. He's sweating, but he's out there trying to torment children. There are a lot of crazy people out in this world. That's why I always say you got to look after your children. Because sometimes the world is a cold place. But let's keep going into that.
It was only later, though, that Russ learned police were looking for the person after reports that he was following children near their bus stop.
If this video can aid in any way to identify this person or, find out who it is, that would be great.
Local businesses tell me on Wednesday, police asked to hang up these flyers. The store manager of this convenience store says the person, who she could tell was a man due to a tear in the...
Well, we seem to have got the gist of both these videos. Let's get over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information, y'all, because this is a crazy situation. Hopefully they find him. So, as we know, in the Fredericksburg Police Department in Virginia is actively searching for a man dressed in a Pink Panther's costume who has been accused of stalking and chasing school children near their bus stop. The bizarre and unsettling incident occurred along the Lafayette Boulevard corridor and have drawn national attention. So on May 14th, around 4:30 p.m., the suspect allegedly trailed a group of terrified youngsters right after they stepped off the school bus. Witnesses and local residents reported that the suspect actively chased the children and attempted to grab a young girl before her older sister managed to pull her away. A local realtor spotted the individual walking along the roadside, found it highly unusual, then posted a video. The convenience store reported that he came in there. She confirmed that it was a man due to the visible tear in the mask, noting that he refused to respond when he was asked to remove it. The suspect was seen wearing a pink cartoon-style costume, a plaid shirt, and cowboy boots, while carrying a bat. Law enforcement officials have distributed wanted flyers across the local businesses and neighborhoods, increasing patrol around the area, and urged anyone with information to contact the Fredericksburg police immediately. Wow. And he's still on the loose today. Now, here's a question. Because it sounds like to me, he needs to be locked up. But he probably could say that this is all a bad joke gone wrong. But the fact that you went into the grocery store, tried to buy some wine, didn't respond to them, and I can't imagine the heat out there. I think you are some type of crazy. I mean, we gotta call a spade how it is. But we'll have to wait to see if he actually gets caught and he gives an explanation of what he was doing, if he is a true pedophile. But as of right now, seems like you need to be locked up. But let me know your thoughts on this situation, y'all. Let me know if anybody's in Virginia has heard of this. But this is a crazy situation, and we will keep up with this. Absolutely wild, y'all. We're going to pivot now into our next topic we're going to be discussing today. And we got to go over, hold on, before we go over, let's get some water, because water is good for the soul. Oh, yeah. So the fourth topic we're going to be discussing today is we got to go over into some body cam footage that was released. And it looks like it was basically about 4 officers during an operation in a homeless encampment that ended up, for some reason, they're trying to hide this body cam footage of what they were actually doing when they arrested someone. Let's get over into this and see if we can find out about this whole situation. Remember, y'all, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Let's get into it.
Incident that led to the firing of several Charlotte County deputies.
Deputies are out of a job for how they chose to use their body cameras.
Stop! Stop! I didn't do anything! Stop! Why is somebody on my neck like that? Because you're fucking resisting. I'm not trying to at all. Fuck off, Brian.
So if y'all didn't catch that, I'm not gonna stop it too much. But they were looking for a woman. That's who they were first looking for.
I had it. I mean, I passed it off to O'Keefe. I don't know where it went.
Oh, he may still have it.
No, he doesn't.
What's going on, man? It's all good. I ain't seen you in a bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to be good, man.
What'd you do with your camper?
I got burned out there. They burned all
Oh, shit.
my camper and my boat.
Oh, fuck. See you later.
You allowed to go to the bathroom, Trick?
All together.
I heard it, and he actually ran right through it.
Well, the body camera is graphic. There's a lot of profanity, so we're just playing the video for you at this time. Take a look. It shows several deputies handling one guy on February 4th of this year. His name is Brian Burke, and we know he had an active arrest warrant. Deputies found him at a homeless camp in Sarasota County. It's hard to make out what's happening, but you can see several deputies all over him with flashlights and tasers yelling at the man.
I'm a fucking run, you motherfucker! Let me go to the bathroom!
Yeah, I'm like a little bitch,
Dude,
right?
I just want to go to the bathroom, dude! Let me just go to the bathroom! Let me go to the bathroom, dude! Just let me go to the bathroom! Let me go, please! Dude, stop! Let me go to the bathroom! Dude, I'm just trying to go to the bathroom! I'm just trying to go to the bathroom!
You're gonna get fucking tased!
I'm sorry, stop! Stop!
Turn around!
Let me go to the bathroom real quick, please! I just want to go to the bathroom! That's all I want to fucking do, man!
Backwards! I can't get leverage.
I
Stand
just
the
want to go to
fuck
the
up
bathroom,
right
dude.
now!
I just want to go to the bathroom. I fucking shit.
Tough him up.
Let me go to the bathroom, please.
Tough up, Brian.
I want to go.
Tough up.
Stop. Stop. I didn't do anything. Stop. Stop. I'm not doing anything. Please stop.
Please.
I got one.
Please
stop. Okay, just let me. Please shit myself.
I got one.
Stop. I'm not trying to do anything.
Stop.
I'm not trying to do anything, dude.
You see the taser dots done
Yes,
shit?
I'm not trying to do anything.
Then put your fucking hand down
Stop.
or you're gonna get tased.
Ready? Stop.
Brian.
I'm not trying to do anything.
Shut up, Brian.
Dude.
Shut up.
Dude, why is somebody on my neck like that?
Because you're fucking resisting.
I'm not trying to at all.
Fuck off, Brian.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Fuck off.
Shit in your pants. Shit in your pants.
Please.
I'm going to be 10 seconds. Can you just confirm that?
You heard that, right? She says, go ahead and shit in your pants. I mean, what are your thoughts, y'all? Tell me what your thoughts.
Please,
You can breathe fine.
Please.
Down.
No, I just let me breathe.
tell you to get-
Stop. Stop. I'm just trying to breathe. Look, I'll sit right here. Ow.
Your cups are on the I put them on there. I couldn't get mine out.
I'm not trying to do anything.
Look at it. It fucking shoved in there.
Stand up. Stand up.
I'm not trying to do anything, man.
Well, you did. You ran.
I'm trying to go to the bathroom,
Fuck
dude.
off.
I'm trying to go to the bathroom, bro.
Yeah, lost all
I have
fucking
to pee. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to do anything.
I'll walk him with him.
Before I charge you with resisting.
Want to take that side?
You charge me with what? What are you
Or I'm going
talking
to charge
about?
you with resisting.
I'm not trying to resist anyone. I just want to go to the bathroom.
Go ahead. Go first.
Now, just from that initial, when they first walked and found him, it did look like he was running away to me. But let me know if you saw something different.
Go to the bathroom. Please. Yoder, man. Yoder, I'm not trying to fuck anything up. Well, you did.
Well, it's too fucking late for that.
All I was gonna do is go poop right fucking there, man. You guys fucking jump all over me crazy. Yes.
And run. That's how
No,
you
I
fit.
was running. I was trying to poop. You guys were running, man.
Be quiet. I'm done talking to you.
I'm not trying to do anything, Yoder.
You're being an ass.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry.
With being polite.
I'm trying to do the right thing, man.
Like an ass.
I'm sorry.
Be quiet.
Yo, I'm not trying to do anything. Come on, dude.
Too fucking late.
I'm not trying, dude.
I don't care. It's fucking over.
What are you talking? What's over?
Going to fucking jail, bro.
Why?
So you fucking
Why am I
ran.
in jail? I didn't run. Yo, I did not run. Please stop. Yoder, please, come on. No. Yoder, please.
I'm out of breath because I just chased
Yoder, I didn't mean to chase me, Yoder. Please stop.
Be quiet.
Yo-
Be quiet. Stop talking for 1 minute.
Yoder, come on. Yoder, come on, man. Yoder, I'm not trying to do anything.
Is it right the shorter way or?
Yo, what are we doing? Yo, what are we doing, man? I'm fucking freaking out. You guys are freaking me out. Come on, Yoder, come on, man. Can I just go to the bathroom? Yo, man, what's going on? I'm not trying to do anything. Who are all these people? Who are these people? I'm not trying to go anywhere. Yo, I'm not trying to go anywhere. I fucking swear. No, I'm not. I wanted to go to the bathroom. There's nowhere to go back there. Can I please go to the bathroom?
Right when he was coming out the back of that tent. Oh my God.
When I heard it, and he actually ran right toward us, it was perfect. And he fell. Fucking bitch.
CCSO warrant, she said. What? CCSO warrant.
Yeah, it's been outstanding with us for like a year. He knows that.
Wait, I don't.
That's stupid, Brian.
Dude, I seriously don't, man.
From Grove City hanging out to disappearing for the last year.
Dude, I don't hang out in Grove City for a reason, dude. I got shot out there.
The report shows deputy body cameras were not turned on at initial contact.
One deputy using continual foul language.
And once they did catch up with the wanted man, you can see deputies pull out their tasers and threaten to use it.
Hey, you see the taser dots done shit?
I'm not trying to do anything.
Holstering a taser and using it to coerce the individual to comply with them, which is not modern practice. It's more, if you unholster a taser, you should be using it.
The report shows body camera video was mislabeled in a way that could cause it to be deleted. There was also no documentation of this incident. All of this is in violation of official procedures. Connolly thinks Sheriff Primel made the right decision.
We have protocols in place to take somebody into custody and not use excessive force.
In a statement, the sheriff says, in part, it is important to note that men involved were not in violation of policy, but rather in the documentation of what happened. Based on the disciplinary report, we know deputies Wilson, Erner, O'Keefe, and Eberts have all been fired.
So they weren't breaking policy. They just messed up documenting it. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like some smoke and mirrors to me. It sounds like they was trying to hide something. Sounds to me like they knew what they was doing was wrong, and that's the only reason they would mislabel it so that it would get deleted. But at the end of the day, they did get fired. So as we know, we had 4 officers who were fired and 1 who was reprimanded so just different failed to activate body cam, failed to supervise at the supervisory duties, allowed group consensus to mislead the video. You got excessive profanity at the suspect, did not report taser development, no use of force report, falsely labeled videos, deployed taser to Beck's collarbone. So I'm assuming they didn't even say that they tased this man. But let's get over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information about this whole case. So as we know, during a February 4th, 2025 out-of-county operation at a homeless camp in Florida, multiple deputies used hands-on force and tasers to arrest Burke, who had an active warrant. Following the arrest, a group of 4 deputies actively collaborated to hide the use of force by delaying body cam activation, failing to file use of force reports, and deliberately mislabeling their body cam worn footage as false activations. The incident came to light after a record supervisor flagged the mislabeled footage and detailed the internal affairs report led the county sheriffs to terminate at least 4 deputies for violating the agent's strict policy on integrity and transparency. So as we know, the fire deputies involved, we had Corporal Russell I'm not even going to try to read all these names. Sean, Daniel, and Timothy. The internal investigation exposed numerous severe procedural violations committed by the responding squad. So the deputies waited nearly an hour after arriving to turn on their body cams, only activating them as tasers were deployed. Footage that did not record the physical altercation and taser deployment were intentionally hidden under the system's category meant to accidentally camera triggers. Released body cam footage showed some deputies using excessive profanity and aggravated posturing well after Beck was subdued and handcuffed. So let's find out a little bit more information on the charges of Brian Burke. So he said that it was under an active warrant that he was arrested in the first place. General misdemeanor charges, court filings indicate a history of localized infractions, including criminal misdemeanor cases filed under the state of Florida. So fleeing in, when deputies initially approached Burke at the camp to detain him on an active warrant, he fled the scene on foot into a wooded area. The actions led to the underlying charges typically associated with evading law enforcement officers, resisting an officer without violence due to fleeing on foot, fleeing and eluding law enforcement. Because he fled, the deputies pursued him through the camp, which ultimately resulted in a physical struggle, taser deployment, and subsequent internal affairs cover-up by the 4 fired deputies. I wonder if the charges should be dropped since they were fired. That only makes sense to me, but we'll have to wait and see if we hear anything about this, but probably not. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Do you think they was doing too much? Do you think it was excessive force? Or do you think, or did you not see anything wrong with that video in the first place? Let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. We're going to pivot over into one more topic we're going to be discussing today. And we got to go over to DC, where we got an 18-year-old who has been indicted on 69 charges after he allegedly tried to flirt with an underage girl, got rejected, and then ended up shooting at a transit passengers. Definition of a YN, if anything. But let's get over into this and see what we can find out, y'all. Remember, y'all, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. Let's jump over into this last topic.
Just got hit with a ton of charges in D.C. He's accused of shooting into a crowd around a Metro bus. An 18-year-old just got hit with a ton of charges in D.C. He's accused of shooting into a crowd around a Metro bus. Officials say he was rejected by a girl he had just groped and decided to just start shooting. Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley joins us live now from 16th and Missouri, where all this went down. Felicia, police say Anthony Del Cid Morales committed a mass shooting at that bus stop back in January. What else are you learning today?
Right. Well, outside of just how shocking all of this is and the fact that what led up to all this, just traumatizing and horrible, what we know is that investigators say that young girl got off on the back of the bus after what she endured on it, and that Morales got off on the front and then started shooting into a group down the street. While some were standing right here waiting for the bus stop, he hit 5 people, including 3 people that were with the young girl, as well as 1 person waiting right here at the bus stop just wanting to go home, and another just taking a night walk. Anthony Del Cid Morales is facing 1 charge of possession of a firearm and assault with intent to kill for each person police say he put in harm's way when he started shooting at the bus stop. He was arrested just yesterday. 7 News was there moments after the January shooting. Back then, interim MPD Chief Jeffrey Carroll told us there was a packed bus and bus stop during the shooting.
I don't know why you would take, this is not the way we resolve disputes. If there's any sort of conflict, obviously we work things out. We don't pull up gunfire, and that's the issue we have. Too many illegal firearms here in the communities.
He's also facing a sexual assault charge after he allegedly touched the girl on her backside, and a charge for wearing a mask while allegedly committing the crimes. 7 News spoke to passengers on the bus, including Bethany Allen, who claimed passengers were trapped in a dangerous situation.
I started hearing young women screaming and crying, and it was clear that some people had been shot. Now, what happened next was nothing. The bus driver didn't move. He didn't close the doors and didn't move the bus at all.
Passengers said this was all while the shooter was just feet away.
He then said, I can't, I'm required to stay at the scene.
All right, we'll get into that. But so we got the gist of what's the problem. The YN, we got to call him how it is, the YN slapped a girl on the butt, underage girl on the butt, tried to flirt with her. He got rejected. Obviously, she was upset, might have said some stuff, and she got off the bus. Him feeling mad that he was rejected, couldn't handle his emotions like a lot of teens who aren't raised correctly. He's 18-year-old now, but a lot of people who aren't raised correctly nowadays. And he ended up shooting at random people because he didn't care who he hurt. He could have killed every single person. And then he would have ran away to hide away from the charges. It's coming down. I say this many a times. It's coming down to the parents. And then we have to be soft on crime policies. But let's keep going into this.
We did speak to the general manager of Ramada after the shooting, and we asked him about this and why the bus driver stayed if he was following protocol. And he said that all of their operators are trained to do what they feel is best for themselves as well as passengers. Back to you.
So in general, he didn't have to stay. He could have, if he felt was best, he could have drove off to try to save some people. But he ain't talking about his policy to stay there. He's lying.
Felicia, what's next for Morales?
Right. Well, 69 charges. He's, expected to spend a long time behind bars if convicted. On top of that, though, he's facing multiple enhancements because the shooting occurred by a bus stop and Metro passengers were injured. Now, he will be back in court in July, and of course, he does not have a bond. But for now, reporting live from Northwest D.C., Felicia Ashley, 7.
Yeah, I love when they don't give these criminals bond. They need to just stay in jail. But let's get over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information on this whole case. So as we know, the 18-year-old Anthony has been charged with 69 criminal charges. So the incident happened on January 26th after a sexually assault attempted on a city bus was rebuffed. And the 18-year-old Anthony allegedly fired 5 rounds into a crowd of over 15 people at the bus stop. 5 people, including teenagers and commuters waiting at the stop, were struck by gunfire during the shooting, all of whom survived with injuries. The victim included 1 woman, 2 girls, and 2 boys. So following the 4-month investigation by the local police, he was arrested on May 21st, 2026, and 69 indictments, including charges of assault with intent to kill, possession of a firearm during a crime of violence, sexual assault, and masked criminal act. He is currently held without bond with a detention hearing on July 10th, 2026. We have to do better raising our children. Or beating the ASS. Some of these kids aren't getting whooped, and it can shows. Some people might say, "Oh, that's the problem," but no, I don't think that's the problem. When your parent spares the rod, a lot of things go wrong. Or if you enable this type of behavior, a lot of things go wrong. If you don't have strong male and female role models for men and women, then things go wrong. At least that is my belief. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you disagreed with anything I said. The world is a crazy place, and we have to review the world together, y'all. But that is it for the show today, y'all. We talked about a lot of crazy things, like always. So if you ever disagreed with anything I said throughout this whole show, please reach out to me and let's talk about it. I'm never going to say I'm always right. I'm never going to say I understand everything, but I'm willing to talk about it. That's the problem with the world today. But that is the first show of the week. Remember, y'all, the best way to show your support is always just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. Now, these videos will be broken down so you can go back and watch the one you want. And I'm happy to say I'm no longer on strike, so hopefully we'll see those views start going up when we get more people in here to have these types of discussions. But no matter what, thank you for whoever's watching now. Thank you for who's watching later. I'm happy, and I'm happy for the support. And the best way to show your support, like I always say, is hit that like button and that subscribe button, y'all. But that's it for now. Y'all already know I got to play that outro. Peace. See y'all tomorrow.